G'day, putters. Welcome to the Deep Dive, powered by puntingform.com.au, Australia's #1 racing database. We all use it. Everyone who wins basically uses it. If you want to start winning, get puntingform.com.au. We use a sectional pro form subscription. Now, boys, how are we?
Well, thanks, Jack. Thanks for asking.
Peter.
I'm actually very good. I'm very good. I must say, though, I'm completely burnt out by racing narrative at the moment. So I didn't watch a race in Melbourne or Sydney on Saturday. I'm getting used to the fact I've got 2 weddings coming up over the next month, so I won't be on course for a few of those Saturdays. So just getting used to the fact that I'm going to miss some big days, and it's okay. And as a result, I'm looking through this Caulfield data, not having seen a race, and it is fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Not just some of the big numbers, like we'll get to Anamoe, we'll get to I'm Thunderstruck, even Probabeel, and not to mention Zaki.
Delphi.
A little bit of Dutch rhetoric coming up there, punters. But there was not one winner, rails in run, and there really was about one winner that was leading or on pace, that was Sabato Excel. The rest were midfield. Most of them were rearward, but nothing came wider than lane 8 in the straight. So this is fascinating. It's a very narrow window to be in the right spot there on Saturday. Dicko, how did you read it?
A little bit differently to the narrative, the dribble, and the yarn, which the propaganda machines propped up relentlessly on. Like I always do. It's an outdoor sport. Almost never is there a completely fair track. I think on Saturday they were definitely able to run on, which horns a lot of people up, as it should. It's very different sort of behaviour to what we're used to in Victoria. But it wasn't a fair track at all. They never just about ever are, and there's nothing wrong with it. Caulfield raced great on Saturday. I'm not just saying that because we won. Like it was a good, fair track. We backlogged Mexicana, which almost won leading. Didn't. Just stopped late. But, I thought the track raced great, but it certainly wasn't even. Shane?
Well, I suppose the track did take a fair bit of the narrative, and one of the questions that I was unsure about was unsure of the answer. Was the track was upgraded early in the day from a good 4, which I think is the default starting position, isn't it? Or soft 5 in the morning and then good 4 by race time. It's upgraded to a good 3 reasonably early in the day. Obviously, King of Lear Grants was scratched because of the track upgrade. Now, that was early in the day. On a warm, sunny, drying day.
Glorious spring day in Victoria.
So we've got to a good 3 early. The weather's continued to be fine and warm and sunny, and there was no other upgrades. Because I look at the puntingform.com.au data, and that it looks to me like the longer the day got on, the faster that track was.
Well, common sense would tell you, like, the longer you leave your clothes out, the drier they're going to get. Surely. If you water the garden in the morning and it's hot all day, you probably got to water it again at night on a real stinker. That's what you're sort of getting at, aren't you?
That's what I'm getting at. Like, I don't understand how the track wasn't upgraded to a Firm 2.
When was the last time we saw a Firm 2 anywhere in Australia, though? It was probably, Ascot about 10 years ago.
I think Bob Hawke was Prime Minister.
No, it was actually when we started listening to the Horse Welfare Brigade and the Anti-Racing Brigade that we changed the narrative.
Who are actually able to get up. They haven't missed one day's work, number 1. They are able to go to the track, number 2. They are able to walk the track, 3. And if they decided that it was a welfare issue, it would be able to scratch, as Nick Williams did with his pony in the last King of Lear Grants. So the punter obviously can't do any of them. We just keep funding it, and we'll give a bit more for a fund for welfare, but we're not responsible for welfare. They are. I think it's a huge test for track presentation and the narrative around it. If the Delphi comes out and runs a big race in 7 days, or for 5 days now in Caulfield Cup, I reckon we can just about argue with evidence that they should just stop talking about firm tracks are bad for horses.
Can I point out two things? First of all, Hong Kong, for instance, I love Hong Kong, obviously. You can't scratch a horse due to an upgrade or downgrade of a track. Only the stewards can scratch a horse on the day, and it's for a veterinary reason, i.e. the horse is lame. And second of all, never mind the fact that some horses hate racing on wet, rainy, sodden ground. Some horses love racing on fast ground. Just, that's part of the joy of the, luck of the day, so to speak. And what we're just trying to bias the tracks in favour of a narrow band of horses that like running on a good 4, good 5, or soft 5.
Even like what Curly's saying, it's like start of October here. It's not that hot. I played golf on Thursday with pants on.
Thanks for that.
Well, I mean, it's not hot here. In 2 months' time, it's going to be real hot. It's shorts weather all the time. So if you water it to a good 4 in the morning, it's definitely going to heat up. What are we going to be watering them like between races?
I'm just picturing Pants Off Golf this November, starring Jack Dickens, post lockdown.
It was a good upgraded to a good 3 for race 2, and congratulations to Nick Williams, who put the welfare of his horse first.
And so he should. Good on you.
So welfare is. I think Nick and I might agree on this point, that welfare is up to the trainer and the owner of the horse to put the horse's welfare first, not necessarily the punter's job to concern themselves with the welfare of the horse. So congratulations to Nick for putting the welfare of his horse first. He's the only one that did it all day.
Yeah, interesting.
Full stop. And we'll discuss that when we go through a little bit of a race earlier on where the $1.30 pop was rolled. Over to you, Jack.
Where should we start? Here?
It is fascinating. Let's start with the Might and Power, because I think out of all of the races, race 6, the old Caulfield Stakes, because we're talking about Zaki getting knocked off at $1.30. Of all of the not watching the races on Saturday moments that I had, given I laid Zaki at Sandown, this kind of shat me to tears. Because bless our old mate Jonathan Walsh as well. His rule of if you're laying something at odds on, you lay at the place at odds on.
Yeah.
That probably would have been the difference between me going on a holiday for 2 months next year and for probably about the entire year.
Yeah, possibly could have brought Rottnest Island.
Yep.
Yeah. I think a lot of younger, smaller like us, our viewers did, because there's a lot of like 15, 20 DMs on Twitter instantly.
Yeah.
Because it's a price range where the normal person is very comfortable to lay for a little bit because you're risking nothing, as opposed to, I don't think, I'm Thunderstruck can win, so I'm going to lay it at $4.
Yeah.
There's a real opportunity for a smaller, normal person to lay this horse, and I don't think any of them. I don't remember one of them saying they laid at the place, but what a complete fill up.
For those that lay
it'll probably come out and dominate in the Cox Plate, but there's definitely enough. There was enough to take it on off that Sandown performance, that Sandown figure. It's actually improved its overall figure here.
Sandown.
Yeah, from Sandown. Yeah. Which doesn't always happen, to be honest. And Probabeel's a proper horse. Like I think we might have said on the previous show, it had a really good starting price in the last year's Cox Plate, which is a better race than this.
Yeah, and last year's Cox Plate, it wasn't suited. I don't know if you remember on the day, but it drifted violently.
It was a big drift though because of the rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So fascinating.
So the query will be now. I'm just scrolling through Twitter now because there's a young fella on Twitter that said he wanted to back Zaki in the Cox Plate, and I need to offer him a price because there was some conjecture around Zaki. He's got his fetlocks taped and the track was hard and blah blah blah. This is the same Zaki that dominated the Brisbane Winter Carnival on the bitumen surface that is Eagle Farm.
Yeah, I know. It's complete. See, that's
it's not the hard track that beat it. I don't think it's the hard track that beat it.
But the hard track certainly
on hard tracks up here before.
Certainly suited Probabeel, but 100%. And the people who let that sort of shit be said and not counter it with what Shane's just said, it's frustrating to listen to, and it makes it unlistenable. Like, there's no way that track on Saturday was firmer than anything he raced on in Queensland.
I agree. sorry, I was going to ask Pistol. Pistol was happy to point out some forgiving points around Very Elegance getting beat. I suppose it wasn't a short quote as odds on in a 2-horse race, even money in a 2-horse race. Very Elegant. Pistol come up with some key points around why you could forgive that run. Any similar sentiment to Zaki, Pistol?
No, it's twice in a row now. I wasn't overly taken with Sandown, and I think there was two little factors there. It was like, one is possibly the fact that he wasn't leading at Sandown, was that purely just wasn't racing at quite a higher tempo as what he was doing in Queensland. Coming right off the back and just all these other horses being gassed. But there has to be a genuine query on him going in that direction. And he's also, is he 7 years old or is he 8 years old? It's not.
He's not a.
Yeah, he's not in that sort of progressive, he's going to a new level sort of territory. He's well and truly exposed based on what he's done overseas. He's not going to be finding a new career, consistent peak. He might be able to hit it once off, twice off like he did in Queensland, but he's clearly not as effective for whatever reason this preparation. But isn't it great for the Cox Plate? Like, all of a sudden, we're not going to have like an 8-horse field and people going, oh, I'm terrified of going up against Zaki. Oh, no, I'm going to shit myself. Just fucking go. Take it on.
Well, now we see Anamoe this morning Vin Cox announced this morning that Anamoe is going there with 49 kilo.
Yeah, and hopefully it's not the only 3-year-old. Surely Artorias
what
goes
price
as well.
What price does it start?
In the Zaki?
Anamoe.
Oh, well, we can get to that.
Scurry's on at some stupid price. The only bloke in the mailbag that doesn't do form is going to have the greatest futures ticket of all time. Fucking makes me sick, but I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him, but
I'm not watching the race with him.
There was a lot going on Saturday, Pete. With the in run, he gives commentary on every single horse, and you're not sure which one he's on, but it's never positive about the one that we're actually on, because he's clicking so much in run. But he's a genius, and he's with Anamoe. Should we go to Anamoe now?
Yeah, let's have a look at the Guineas.
Great ride, great placement. Cowardly bet from us, but we backed it, but should have gone a lot harder. This is an elite figure.
That's a big figure.
Of 16.6. Punting form handles the tracks. Like they've got a bunch of algorithms to measure it all. I live and die by these figures. This figure is bigger than any recent Caulfield Guineas winner. Long John run a very similar figure like a long time ago. Shooting to Win did a 14.3. Mighty Boss 14.4. Stand by, I'll give you some more. Autumn Sun 11.1. Old Kirk a 12.3. Super Seth 9.3. Press Statement 10.3. All Too Hard, one of the all-time greats, 15.7. Anamoe 16.6. This horse is elite. Could have easily won a Blue Diamond. Pretty amazing.
Okay, so let's set this up. They've gone.
It's gonna go. It's got to be a huge fucking chance to win the Cox Plate.
What about Artorias as well? Because
great ride on Artorias.
It's similar sort of profiles. I think if you like one, you have to be willing to suggest that on the day barriers are going to be crucial. And I'd be surprised, based off what I'm seeing here data-wise, if they don't send Artorias to the Cox Plate as well. Set up off a mental speed. Like this is a big tempo race. Like 11.5 fast for the class is very, very fucking quick. And how these horses back up, you have to roll the dice. You can't be scared of taking on Anamoe because there's no guarantee that any of these horses are going to back up off this tempo.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Who set the tempo? Pistol, just to clarify for those watching at home.
Alpine Age, is it?
Right.
Didn't
figure in the finish, I'd imagine.
It was beaten 13.
26 is out to 41s.
Oh, well.
No manual labour for these office hands.
Just rest them in the bowl of milk next to you, girls.
I don't think Anamoe was 4 wide with cover. Like it wasn't. wasn't completely blessed in run. It's just the rider of like a champion rider that knew what he had.
Yeah.
Best part of track. 4 wide with cover.
Yeah,
Lane
I don't
6.
think 4 wide for the first 800 meters of the track's the best place to be. You know, I think Artorias was given a really good ride for the way the horse races.
Yeah, it's just a shit horse. No, I shouldn't say that. It's got a terrible racing pattern.
So it saves a lot of ground.
Yeah.
And what about Captivant? Because it split them.
Well, I was going to say, Rob Scurry's tossed up Captivant. He said if you're backing Anamoe for the Cox Plate, you're having something on Captivant.
Yes,
I think he said that, didn't he? Hundreds. I think he said it was hundreds, and Anamoe was single figures, maybe. I don't really look at the markets. I'll do that while you're dribbling there, Jack. I
haven't looked at the market either. It was a good run. I just think like the winner of this race is a beast. It's as good as Caulfield Guineas winners we've seen in a long time. Yep. It'll be at stud before you know it.
Do you feel like you need to temper the figure a little because of the track? Like it wasn't
if you take like 5 lengths off it, it's still better than the Autumn Sun.
Yeah.
Like it's.
Well, it's a question worth asking. We've talked about the track. Now you're talking about the figure. Just to clarify, I suppose, for anyone that listens, it's still a better figure, even if you do adjust slightly. It's still a better figure than the Autumn Sun, who had a massive wrap.
Yeah. Huge wrap. It's a beast. It's a complete beast. It shits on like Alligator Blood, which was like the form reference for the next 6 months that year. It's a beast. Yeah. It's a very, 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 very good horse.
Scurry's clearly had a bet here because Captive was $101 when he mentioned it, and it's now $21. Anamoe likely, possibly off the win, and maybe a little firm again off the back of this morning's announcement. He's now $5, second favourite behind Zaki. But I think you're right. I think the full stop there is that Anamoe is a complete beast and the most impressive Guineas winner that the data has shown us since Jesus rode.
But also not just the data. You go through it, right? So Helmet SP 230 when it won in 2011. That was 10 years ago. All Too Hard SP $12 that year. It's one of the great horses. SP $12. So it's a grand final race, 3-year-old season. The market, the collective, said this is a $12 chance.
Yeah.
Long Gone 380, shooting to win 750. Press statement 250. Divine Profit 7. Fucking Mighty Boss knocked off Kamantari in the big figure, and Kamantari, was a decent horse. 100-1. Fuck, that still hurts me. The Autumn Sun at $170. Super Seth 750. Old Kirk 420. Anamoe 210. So it's the second. It's number 2 for the SP of the winner for the last.
And the winner, I know the race went quick, but obviously so the whole race goes quick because the leader goes quick. He's still out negative 12.9 and home negative 3.7. Like any way you cut it, it's a fucking huge figure. It's an enormous win, and it's a beast.
Let's just remember though. So you think didn't win this same race? And
yeah, but I think like.
As good as some of those other horses you mentioned were, like the Autumn Sun, he never won anything weight for age outside of his own year group, so he's not a real horse to me.
Yeah, that's fair, but he's a beast of it. He was the original Panther. Copyright. Every time I say it, someone texts me, it makes me cringe. It does, so you don't need to keep texting me. It's actually Scurry's word. Scurry's getting a lot of airtime today, isn't he?
Is indeed.
And fair enough today.
Stay tuned for the Sydney show, punters. Shall we talk about one of the other Group 1s on the card, the Toorak Handicap? And
oh God, we haven't even talked about this. Like for sour punters that we are, this is a glorious, glorious day's racing, and it's enjoyable to look back upon. Like these are fucking big, good horses. This horse is a freak. I wish we had bulk cash and bought the thing or bought a tail,
after the first start.
Oh, it showed so much brilliance everywhere it went. There was something about it in each performance that said, "Hey, I'm pretty fucking good."
Yep.
Even the way it won at Sale in a shit race, it just like got through its gears through that shit. That Sale win, if you look at that, was on a heavy something. 8. A heavy 8 at Sale first up. A heavy 8 at Sale, in my opinion. Do your own research. I consider it like a heavy 12 when it rains at Sale. And that's how it started this prep. It just won on what we're thinking is a firm 2. Versatile beast. Glorious animal. Maybe my favourite horse at the moment. I fucking love this thing. And most importantly,
and you're not
God
even
bless,
talking through your pocket.
God bless you, Jai. You redeemed yourself.
I was just going to ask because Jai, he had gate 4. Willow's had gate 3. Willow settled rails and run, finished in lane 2. Jai's settled 1 outside, a pair back. Just looking at the data here, lane 5, perfect zone. And that's the difference at the end of the day, isn't it?
Well, if we had a sponsor, we'd roll some tape here. But there was a lot of jockeying going on. Jockeying, that's where it comes from. They were playing a bit of little games and shit.
There was a bit of jockeying going on, wasn't there, for a change?
D-Lane, Willow, and Jai. And Jai was pushed around a little bit, but he said, get the fuck out of my way to D-Lane on Elephant. And it was incredibly brave. Maybe, because he got it wrong the previous start, he's like, fuck, I can't fuck this up again, and just went. But redemption, God bless you. And thoughts and prayers.
And it's posted.
Jay Carr missed out on even more prize money, baby. You would have just been sitting on this thing. You would have just had a little post for the photo and another Group 1.
Yes, indeed.
It's a game of inches. It is a game of inches.
Biggest figure on a fat card of figures, minus 17.
It's just sickening. Like,
wouldn't it be amazing if you could actually bend to futures markets?
Yeah.
Question for anyone that bets, looking at used to. Easy on Betfair, and you could get as much as you wanted at 3:30-ish.
Yeah. There was a lot of money for Elephant.
Please
and
explain.
There was late money, and I heard the big ones came for Dice Roll. So maybe the track was fairish because Dice Roll is always going to be rails and run. I think it sort of settled a pair further back than they would have wanted.
And haven't we seen this before? Some of those big moves don't factor in track play or track condition. They might factor in the actual rating of the track, but not necessarily whether they're going to be settling in run.
That's a fair call. But the one they wanted late was Dice Roll, but there was money for Elephant early, then Dice Roll. It's just fucking glorious. Great ride. What a horse. I reckon we've seen some of the great horses there at Caulfield on Saturday. It's one of the greatest days racing every year. Like, is there a better 3-year-old than Anamoe?
Not in Australia.
Is there a better horse at the moment than I'm Thunderstruck over the mile?
What won the Epsom last week, or wherever it was in Sydney? What won the mile race in Sydney?
That black and green circled horse, Regan
Private
Bayless.
Private Eye.
Please.
Yep, fair.
I'm Thunderstruck will be $1.80 for the Golden Bird race.
The sex move.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry.
The Delphi, guys.
You meant to cross to me. I'll pretend to be that guy that reads the odds on the tape.
Shane.
Money here for in the Golden Eagle. I'm Thunderstruck's favourite at $4. There you go. From Mwanga at $4.50, Private Eye 7.
No idea what that was, but I enjoyed it. Anyway, race 10 on a 10-race card, the Delphi. Big steamer, 265, or maybe even bigger. Stand by. I've got it here. $4 into $1.95. We only got on at We got on at $2.65. Missed the $4.
How about
I reckon it's better. If anyone else rode this before you go, Shane, who knows how fast this would have gone? I think it still wins, but the giant ninja pythons of D. Oliver, the goat, were like fully. He was working his little ass off, and this is a race 10 on a 10-race card. He'd already banked probably over a couple of $100,000 of prize money. That's how hard this man works. That's how great he is. He's already won the Guineas. He's just rich. He's already rich. He's got 55 houses, and he's still just ripping and tearing. Python's locked in, keeping this horse just through its gears. It was a great ride. We watched it with Scurry Curls, but we all said it at 600, this is the fucking best ride. Win, lose, or draw, best ride. You need to make your decisions on rides at about the 600, wouldn't you say, Pete?
Yeah, at least.
You can't use hindsight every time to judge their decisions. You're like, oh, Ollie, you beautiful boy. Well done. And then it pissed in. I reckon this horse is a big player in the Caulfield Cup. Thoughts?
The Ollie at the 600 reminded myself of being 16 years old, up the bush with a few UDLs, around a fire, and then someone yells out "cops," and you just piss bowled off as hard as you can. Ollie's just got to the 600 and someone's yelled "cops." He's looked around, just gone kaboom, and put him away. Geez, it was impressive. Certainly left it vulnerable, and the Chosen Son, I think, was the one making ground. The chosen one.
Yeah, the chosen
one.
Would
have been the one making ground. Who runs well. Set up for something that was off speed and not gassing themselves from the 6 to the 4 to make ground late. It was the one. Winner was good. It'll be interesting. Caulfield Cup, all these obviously sticks, and anticipating Incentivise is going to be leading. Someone or something is going to try and test it earlier.
Let's get the prices up right now.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Jack. There's been money for this.
All in.
Okay, Caulfield Cup, which is next Saturday.
I've got it. Incentivise $1.90, Delphi $6, Nonconformist 8, Young Werther 8, Floating Artist 15, longer the rest. I didn't think the Delphi would be that short already, but I still think that's a fairly good price. Incentivise and the Delphi Delphi will settle better than midfield, you'd assume, and that's where you want to be at Caulfield. 2,000 metres or longer happens all the time. I think you got to go advantage the Delph, don't you, at those prices right now?
I think you have to stick with Incentivise.
No.
At the price.
It's a no bet race for me, but he's got.
So you got to try and collect 600. So you got to either have 3 whatever on Incentivise, or you can just have a little 100 on the Delph. What are you doing?
Play the quaddie.
Shane?
I won't be betting against Incentivise. I'm anticipating there potentially could be a no Incentivise market somewhere on the day.
Yeah, true.
You could have 600 to place Delphi if you want it, or 250.
I'd take the $6 Delphi personally right now, top of my head, and
how much you want on it?
Be interested to. Do you want to talk? Yeah, okay. What price?
$5.50.
No. I see Duas is in the market too, which would be great to see if it goes there.
Has anyone seen a weather forecast for the week in Melbourne town?
For all the Christopher Walken fans. No, I haven't. It looks good today, but what does that mean?
Well, you've got the Wednesday meeting first as well, the 1,000 Guineas meeting with the Blue Sapphire as well. So Group 1 racing on Wednesday, followed up
by...
High
percentage of chance of rain in Melbourne. Fucking shocked me. Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, no big amounts, but if you get 90% chance of 15 mil on Wednesday and that comes in the morning and no race on it, full credit to the track staff for having the track ready for Saturday.
Oh, full credit, as always.
Yeah, anyway, we'll just have to watch the score. I don't know. I don't think it matters, whatever. I'm not betting against Incentivise.
All right. Should we have a quick spin around Queensland? Anything happen up there, Curls?
Oh, apart from me filling up, no. Pete, it's pretty quiet, mate. I thought Eagle Farm race 7, I thought that was a good race for Queensland race. Apache Chase and Emerald Kingdom paired off. Emerald Kingdom actually led Apache Chase. Jim Byrne rode very well for the entire meeting in 2 separate races there, obviously, because he can't ride 2 horses in the same race. Apache Chase, he handed up the lead to Emerald Kingdom, who was racing very keenly, and he come off that horse's back and nailed it. Returned a negative 10.3 figure, which is pretty fast for Queensland. And then it dictated it. And then in the very next race, he led on Boom Spender and went plus 7.1 to the 600 and got home in -5. He had his iron, rode really well. which means absolutely nothing going forward because it's all about this Saturday and finding the right bets for the world's biggest punters club while we bet live from somewhere in the Brisbane CBD to be announced.
Haven't we announced that yet?
Not officially.
Oh,
Stand by.
it's going to be a big day.
Press
Broadcast.
conference later this afternoon.
Oh,
Apart from that, no, everything's great in the Sunshine State. Thanks, Peter.
Okay.
That was
Just also, FYI for anyone who's just doing a bit more research on the Caulfield meeting, it was a disgracefully slow tempo. Sikana Ray, we were stiff there too. They've flown home. It looked to the eye like they stopped and they were all flying. So fastest close of all the races across the whole card.
There it is. All right. Very good. Massive week ahead, as you said, Curls. World's biggest punters club this Saturday. Caulfield, Wodonga, Bendigo. Queensland would have, Toowoomba, Gold Coast, Eagle Farm, are they, this Saturday?
And Eagle Farm, yeah. So, like, as far as the punters club, wagering for the punters club, as far as that's concerned, it'll be exactly like we did this Saturday just gone. I went through all the 3 meetings and I focused on Warwick because that's where I thought the best betting opportunities were. So there's 3 meetings to choose from there. So it'll be just working out which one's the one to attack. I'm just not going to attack Eagle Farm just because it's the Metro meeting. There's no need.
Wise.
Just also, like, what the reason I was talking about that Mexicana race was it was the slowest on the day, right? The slowest of the day. You two missed what I was going to do here. Puntingform.com.au, Racing Victoria needs to purchase a subscription for the stewards because they've questioned Craig Williams on Brooklyn Hustle. Like, how have they questioned that and not questioned other stuff? Jai sat on Bella Nipotina, like, get into your gears. Gone extremely slow in this race, get into your gears. There's questioning, and the way they question and what they question is extremely frustrating. The rider fatigue off the back of these big Group 1 days, which we saw yesterday at Ballarat in race 9 when Brett Preble, who won a Group 1 on Saturday, went to the inferior inside ground on the last race. Not even in the stewards report. Don't think he did anything untoward, just think he had a brain fade because he would, because he's been riding relentlessly all across Victoria. But has Brooklyn Hustle ever won a race in Victoria?
Good question. I don't know.
Outside the Valley.
I suppose it has somewhere.
Has it?
Yeah, it would have won at the Moonee Valley, I reckon.
Yeah, it's one at the Valley, but that's the only one.
Has that one anywhere else?
Morfordville, Group 3 level. It actually beat Yes at Moonee Valley on debut.
Yeah, I remember up
What
the
a
inside.
sliding doors moment that was.
It went up the inside.
Beat Propel at Moonee Valley. That was its very next win. And then it's won one other race somewhere, I think.
One at
Queensland it won at Morfordville and Eagle Farm. Yeah.
It went well in Queensland.
Yeah, it won a race here. It won at Eagle Farm.
potentially coming over to Ascot as well, so that's great. It can start now and then possibly still flash home to run second to one of Bob Peters' horses.
Ridden by Pikey, who gets an impossible gap.
Yep.
What does that caller over there, Pistol? He keeps saying, Pikey will need his pogo stick to get himself out of there, and he gets the split and wins. Every fucking time.
Shout out to Matty Hill. Hope you pulled up all right after getting that photo wrong in race one. Luckily, thankfully, no one on Twitter abused him because he just made a mistake.
But they queue up for our TV.
If you didn't abuse him, but you line up to abuse TB, you are a hideous, hideous reptile. Enjoy your week. Bye for now.